Hey everyone, it's Michael Phair from BIT here. I'm joined here with Euan McNair. Euan is a senior manager at AMS, working as a dedicated consultant on Royal London currently. How are you getting on, Euan? You well?
Yeah, very, very well, thanks, Michael. How are you finding lockdown? I saw your lockdown series, which is great, but how are you personally finding it?
I'm just a social creature, I think. I think it's quite
Ye
difficult to be locked in.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. I think the running part is a good aspect.
Oh no, completely. I completely agree. What have you been doing in your spare time and stuff? Have you been running things as well?
Yeah, well, I've been trying to. I was running last night. I've actually tore my calf. That was good. To phone the wife to come and pick me up last night. So that was massively
Nothing
embarrassing
worse.
at the same time.
What's happened?
Um,
Well, let's give the people a flavour of who you are then, your background, and a bit about what
sure.
motivates you.
Yep.
So let's start with what was your first ever job?
My other first job was I was probably about just sort of 16, and I got a
Hmm.
weekend job, and it was at IKEA.
Yeah,
So I was in Glasgow, obviously the yellow shirt, bright yellow shirt, right front of house. So if you
yeah.
needed a paper and measure tape, a pencil, a catalogue, a trolley, I was your man, Michael. I was your go-to man. It actually stuck with me though, like from a recruitment perspective, because I remember
Hmm.
getting the offer, and I remember the words that the recruiter actually said to me, and the hiring manager actually said to me on the call,
Hmm.
and it sort of stuck with me. And it was like I was very grateful, obviously, for getting the job. I was only 16
Hmm.
at the time, and he actually said it's kind of made our day. We like giving good people good news, and that sort of stuck with me. And I think
Good
you
for
get a
you.
kick out of making people offers, and I think that that was one of the things that stuck with me. I think recruitment and vacancies change people's lives as well.
I mean, I do enjoy it's the such easiest thing in the world. Do you know what I mean? But if you do make a good impact to someone's life and you can change it for the better. Well, a really interesting question, a very good one I want to ask is what advice would you give to your younger self?
I think the best bit of advice I'd give to myself is probably slow down a little bit,
Hmm.
put less pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think the one thing that we all struggle with, I guess, as we kind of grow and mature is that feedback. I would say to my younger self that feedback is a gift. There was times where I got feedback earlier on in personal and professional life, and I took it to heart as if it was a
Yeah.
criticism, but actually
Yeah. Yeah.
feedback is a gift, and
Yeah.
absolutely welcome that. Yeah, so that's what I would tell
Hmm.
myself.
All right then, going round my list of difficult and hard questions. If you were to give a TED talk, what would it be about?
You're enjoying this far too much.
Totally am.
You are enjoying this far too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
TED Talk. I think probably just on the topics that we've discussed there, that kind of mental well-being. Me myself, marathons and mental health, something along that lines. So,
Hmm.
um,
No, fantastic. So it's a great idea. So, what about first place then? Where are you going to go when lockdown's over? What's your first visit?
all right, good. Probably my parents, to be honest. I mean, I'm going through there later on
Oh,
today
that's
to
nice.
to drop off some supplies and stuff, but
Hmm.
probably followed by a beach walk. I just like the fresh air, being able
Hmm.
to get kind of out and down the beach with the dog, and then the
Hmm.
barbers. So those three places in that order. Probably need a bit of a
That's my
haircut as
next
well.
question. When are you going to? Yeah,
Oh,
that's my next question. Though. How long before you
right,
cut your
okay.
own hair? Totally.
What about you? What are you doing? You tempted to shave yours off?
I think I've got a bit of the fear to get my hair cut. To be honest with you, so when I was wee, my dad cut my hair. I didn't know what blending was. He
Right.
didn't either. So he went and shaved up to my head, and then he's like, "Right, there you go." And I went into work, into school with just this like line, like obvious line,
Oh
not
wow,
blended at
right.
all. And I think I've just been like, no one is cutting my hair other than a professional barber.
So we've all been scarred by parents. Yeah, my mum done mine at one point
Hmm.
as well. I think it was all sort of shaved into like a two
Hmm.
everywhere, but she left a fringe. So I had a fringe to about here, but a
Oh,
skinhead at the back, pretty
I'm
much.
going to try and get a picture of that.
Um,
Yeah.
do you know what? There was one. Never will it see the light of day again.
So then, looking at your role, the market, and then obviously these unprecedented times that we're in, you've been
Yeah,
with
sure.
AMS and Royal London for a year now, just over a year now. How have you found it?
Challenging,
Hmm.
and the connotations of that word might sound negative, but absolutely not.
Hmm.
It's been challenged in all the right way.
Hmm.
Um, I think the people that I work with are phenomenal on a day-to-day basis.
Hmm.
It's a really diverse bunch of people, so really enjoying it. There's a few different kind of aspects to the role from some of previous roles that I haven't had exposure to before. I think there's probably a bit
Hmm.
more of kind of empowerment in both organisations, and I think I'm really sort of thriving and enjoying that.
Oh, fantastic. I obviously hear like really good things about the culture and stuff. How would you describe it, Roland, in an AMS?
Back to that people
Hmm.
aspect, I think a lot of organisations invest heavily in trying to develop a culture, but actually I'd say both the organisations have a culture that's just is sort of innate, it's
Hmm.
natural, it's organic, it's
Yeah.
grown, and that's all down to the people that they manage to hire, retain and develop.
Hmm.
I'd say in both organisations, their culture, their values, I think they live and breathe them,
Hmm.
and that's easier said than done. I think people are empowered,
Hmm.
they're ultimately trusted, and you can see those elements at play every day.
Hmm. Oh,
Uh,
that's fantastic. I mean, how are you finding it, or how is organisations finding it in these kind of challenging times from a work perspective?
Mm. I think they are both really honest organisations. They're really transparent
Hmm.
with their people,
Yeah.
and keep them up to date regularly. We're working through unprecedented times where we don't know a lot of the answers, and just that regular, constant communication that comes out to keep you updated, I think, is absolutely key. So
Hmm.
that's absolutely helping at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I mean, we've seen different responses from different organisations. How quickly did you guys and did you react to lockdown?
So they had sort of 90% of their people working from home by the 23rd of March.
That's amazing.
And then by the 26th of March, by the 26th, they had 98% or over 98% of people working from home. And I just think if anybody, is looking at a sort of example or a blueprint for how to look after their people and deal with something like this,
Mhm.
I think they've been phenomenal, to be
Yeah.
honest. They've got the technological challenges. We,
Hmm.
we absolutely get that. But I think looking at it, the decisions that were made were done for all the right reasons, obviously, but it's to safeguard people.
Hmm.
And I think that's always at the
Yeah.
forefront of their mind.
Yeah.
And AMS with
Hmm.
the same. We're
Yeah.
a bit of a global community, a global organisation. But I mean, the way that we've looked after people, I think, is again,
Hmm.
it's been a bit of an example for how to do that in the right way. And I do hope, it's an incredibly difficult time. I do hope we learn something from
Hmm.
this, be it well-being, being nice to one another, nicer,
Hmm.
kinder, be it working from home. I think we need to take something away from this.
Yeah.
As a society, we need to learn from this
Yeah.
big time.
I mean, I think things will change, but I don't know what's going to change. I mean, the
Right.
remote working, I think, will be obviously wider, like adopted and adapted and stuff. That'll definitely come.
Sure.
Um, but it just depends how we kind of go back. What is that kind of like introduction back to normal living? Will it be normal living? The vaccine, it won't come in until next year. They're saying, so how will it's just so strange, isn't it, to think how society will adapt and change to it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and no doubt you've you've saw probably a lot of this play out on LinkedIn and social, and there's people making huge predictions about the workforce,
Hmm.
and people will want to work from home and all of that sort of stuff. And I've read some kind of thought leadership behind all of that,
Hmm.
and I can't see it
Yeah.
going to absolutely remote workforces.
Yeah.
I can see there being a bit of a blend and more home working coming out of this.
Yeah.
But back to some of the points and themes that we've talked about,
Hmm.
there is still huge value in that human interaction.
Hmm.
So if we can come out of this with a blend, actually to then engage different cohorts of talent,
Hmm.
I think that would be the ideal. But I don't think we'll ever shift to that every single employee being at home
Yeah.
all the time, because I think some people are finding that particularly hard.
Yeah. No, totally. So, final thoughts then, Ewan. Anything you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Right. Okay. No pressure. Sort of words of wisdom at the
I'd
end.
love that. All on you.
Yeah.
Here you
Absolutely.
go.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Do you know what? I've actually quite enjoyed this. It's
Hmm.
been different. I didn't. Thanks for the invite.
Not at all. No,
We
mate,
we
thank you.
talked a lot about kind of mental health theme that sort of ran
Yeah,
through
totally.
some of the discussion. The one thing I would say is if anybody is particularly struggling at these times, and that's absolutely normal and acceptable to do that.
Hmm.
What I would say is just reach out to friends, families, or professionals if it's required. Speaking up is
Yeah.
absolutely not a weakness; it's a strength. So I'd encourage people to do that. Other than that, I mean, I heard people clapping last night, and I looked out my window and saw the street clapping again, and joined in with that. So
Hmm.
it'd be remiss of both of us not to sort of mention key workers.
Yeah.
You've got friends that work in that space, as do I. NHS, my brother works at the NHS. I've got friends, close
Hmm.
friends that work there, and I think those two cohorts of people are keeping the UK ticking over. So
Hmm.
just a big shout out to them, really. And other than that, just everybody just stay safe.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Ewan. I really appreciate it.